Hello. Just a quick word from Proverbs, the 28th chapter, the 13th verse, and it says that people conceal their sins will not prosper. But if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. Conceal, people who tries to hide their sin, try to hide. Now we can hide from one another, but we can never ever hide from God. People who conceal their sins will not prosper. But, but if they confess, if they admit to their wrongdoing, if they admit it's their fault, he said, but if they confess and turn from their sins, they will receive mercy. What is mercy? Mercy is God not punishing us for what we deserve. When we do wrong, we get punished. But God says he will show mercy. There's just so much stuff that's going on in the world today. There's so much problems in the world that are going on around us today that can be frightening. But we know that God is greater than our problems. We think of our problems like a skyscraper. Whenever we facing something or encountering something that we can't just solve it on our own, we look at that problem, we look at that situation as something so big and so humongous, so gigantic, so tall like a skyscraper building that we on ground floor, we on ground level, and we look at the skyscraper building and we say, oh, this is too big. I can't see what's on the other side. I can't even see what's around it because it's so big and it's so tall that it just, I can't see anything. But I'm reminded of how big God is. Now, I look at the situation like a skyscraper building, but then I'm reminded of how big God is. Last Sunday, when we were coming back to Memphis on an airplane, and I thought, taking off, you're getting to look at everything on ground level. Mm. Everything looked bigger. Some things you can't even see around or see what's behind it because it's so big. It blocks your view. But as much as the airplane kept elevating, getting higher and higher and higher to the sky, that big, my God, glory, hallelujah, that big thing began to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And when you get to so high in the air, and then you look down and that tall, big skyscraper building began to look like it's something that you can hold in your hand. But hold up, I said the airplane, but the airplane is God, is just like God. God said, the more I elevate you, the higher you get, and the higher you get, that you look down at the thing that hindered you from looking and see what's on the other side, or that thing that hindered you to keep you from going forward, the trouble, the problem, the situations that got you bothered. He said, while you were on ground level, your situation looked huge, it looked big. But as I carry you up higher, glory, hallelujah, Jesus. The more you read his word, the more you study his word, the more you meditate on your word, and the more you apply it to your life, God is taking you higher. So when you get higher and you look at that situation, you look at that skyscraper building and it looks small now. I can actually hold it in my hand. So God is simply saying to you tonight, no matter what the problem is, it doesn't matter how big or small. He said, but if you let me have it, if you put it in my hand, and then when you look back at your situation, you see that it was a very minute thing, but it looks and it appears because we're looking at it on the same level as it is. He said, but when you are higher in me, you begin to see that thing that is nothing. Why? Because God sees everything. He knows everything. And God said, I am protecting you. I will lift you up above that thing and I'll allow you to look back. And that's what you call a mountain experience. When you go up in the mountain, you reach the peak of the mountain, you look down, you see how tiny things were. But when you were on ground floor or ground level with it, it looked mighty, mighty big. So tonight, don't let things look bigger, but trust God who sees everything and knows everything. Trust him. Take him at his word. Don't worry about what it looks like. Know him who can handle anything, no matter how small or great in your life. You will prosper if you're sinning. Confess. You will prosper and God will show mercy upon you. Be blessed.